Hey guys, hey, I'm just not comfortable. Hold on. I feel like I'm too short or something, which is not normal for me because I'm not a short person. But, yeah. So, good morning, everybody. Morning after, well, I guess it's late morning now. My day has just been such a hustle and bustle already that I don't even know what time it is. I don't even know what time it is. I did not even look at the time in all truth as to when I hit the button. So, oh goodness. So good morning everybody who's popping on already. I just wanted to pop on here because I have a quiet house for a split second. And I went, you know what, this is a great time to do a conscious coffee really quick and just get today's message out, get today's message as to what's kind of like popping around in my head and what has been coming up for me in the last probably 24, 48 hours. And actually a whole lifetime. It's a whole lifetime. It's just one of those realizations, awarenesses, I guess you could say, that I've had since I was a young child and then into my teen years. And I'm going to make this about relationship, but I want to preface this whole thing with that there is no right or wrong to relationship. So for all of you people out there who might go, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? Is she trying to say that we should do things just this way? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that a relationship in itself, the biggest issue that we have in relationship today is that there's so many rules around our relationships, around the way we choose to relate. And, you know, I was watching an advertisement on YouTube. It comes in on one of the videos on YouTube, and it was for Mind Valley. And the guy who runs Mind Valley, he was talking about some mastermind that they're doing right now, that they're hosting, launching, or whatever. And the gist of it was around goals, and how our goals that we have in life, in business and success, in relationship, and our health and our finances and everything, to really question if they're even your goals, because the majority of goals that we have are programmed into us by society, by teaching, by the things that, just the life itself, right? So that got me kind of thinking while I was listening to that advertisement and everything. I was like, he's absolutely right. I mean, I preach and teach this stuff all day long. I always ask people, is that true? You know, is that true of you? Is that truly at your core? Is that really something that you believe, that you really believe at your core? Or are you saying something that, you know, John Smith from 1800 said, or that Mary from 1950 believed? Or, you know, like, why do you do the things that you do? Why do you think that the goals that you have are, that you need to have them as goals? Why do you live the life that you live the way you live it? Is it truly for you? Is it really coming from here, or is it coming from out here? So taking on that little concept of how the majority of things that we believe, that we desire, that we set out to attain and have in our lives, whether that is a lifestyle, a relationship, you know, our finances, the way we look, the way we act, the house that we live in, the car that we drive, you know, everything, the way our kids are supposed to act, the friends that we have, the places that we travel. Like, why do you do all those things? Why do you want the things that you want? If we bring that back to relationship itself, and now let's bring it down to even not just relationship, because everything is about relationship, right? We have a relationship with everything in our life. A relationship with our health, a relationship with money, a relationship with our purpose, a relationship with our children, with our friends, with our parents, with our siblings, you know, with associates, and the relationship that I'm going to be hitting on a little bit right now, our most intimate relationship. And whether that is somebody that we're dating, somebody that we're looking at dating, or somebody that's calling, not a relationship person at all, or if it is somebody that, you know, we're married to, or that we have been in a long-term relationship with, or that we're looking at being in a long-term relationship with. So if we get right down to that intimate relationship of yours, there is this belief across the board that the majority of people have that there's only one right way to do relationship. There is only one way that you can be in a successful relationship, right? And that is what? Has to be monogamous, has to be exclusive, has to be committed. That person is going to fulfill all my needs. I'm going to fulfill all their needs. It's going to be this way, this way, this way, consistently, right? And if you step out of that, then that means that you don't love me, or that I don't love you, and that means that this can't work, and blah, 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 blah. Well, there's no right or wrong. There is seriously no right or wrong to relationship. And the reason I'm bringing this up today is because I have a large group of people in my life that are really teetering with this issue, this challenge of, should we be monogamous or should we be open? And what does open look like? And what does that mean? And like, what is it okay? Is it right? Is it sinful? Is it this? Is it that? Blah, blah, blah. Number one, like I've already said a couple times, there's no right or wrong to doing relationship. It is really about two people coming together and having a discussion about what their core beliefs are, what their true desires are, and opening up those gateways to that conversation. Once you have that conversation, where do you align and where do you not align? If you align in enough spots, then you can have whatever relationship you so deem right for the two of you. And fuck everybody else. Fuck, shoot, I was going to use this as a promotional video too, and I just used the F word. Oops. Okay, so no promotional video for me from this. Okay. So I was going to keep it completely clean, and yeah, that doesn't work with me. So all right, I'll just go all out then. So yeah, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about your relationship, how you are being perceived, okay? The only thing that really truly matters is what feels good to you. And here's the thing, is that if something's really not feeling good to you, then you have to realize that you're out of alignment in that moment. Perhaps your soul is not quite feeling the way you think it should be feeling, okay? Maybe your ego is actually stepping in and causing you to dig up these hidden little beliefs around something that really is not there. Maybe it is that it's completely out of alignment to you. Now that is an inside game that you have to really get in there, and you have to really do the inquiry work, and you have to really feel into why you're wanting what you're wanting, why it feels good, why it doesn't feel good. Ask the difficult questions of why and what, because without those answers, you're never going to really have that clarity, that picture that you can really settle into. So the title of this, the whole title of this live is that variety creates desire. And I wanted to tell a personal story that, I know that people have talked about my story on this. I hear about it coming back from different people, like, oh, I've heard about you. I've heard about your 11 boyfriends and how you bore easily. I love this statement. I bore easily, and I'm really quick to drop people once I get bored of them. Okay. Number one, that's not true. It's not accurate. I do bore easily if something is boring, but I really don't find too much boring. The whole story there is that years back, when I first got started on this whole transformation process, number one, I was in a very long relationship, 20+ year relationship, married, kids, did the whole monogamy thing, really pushed it, really felt guilty if I flirted with somebody else, felt guilty about having some of the thoughts that I was having, was really feeling controlled and no freedom. And I didn't really even have that sense of security from it. And here's the thing, the majority of women do want security. The majority of men want freedom, okay? Now, I say that underneath men and women. What is even more important to take into consideration here is that masculine energy, now we take on to the whole scope of masculine energy, is more of a freedom-based energy, wanting freedom, wanting not to be controlled. That is the masculine. It is the hunter. It is the pursuer. It is the one that goes out and wants to travel, adventure, seek, find, explore new lands in everything. That is a freedom-based mentality. Security mindset is more about let's get rooted, let's get grounded. That's more of the feminine. When it gets pushed off onto women, mostly because the majority of women in our feminine nature, we want security. What do we want? We want a safe house. We want to make sure that there's money in the bank. We want to make sure that there's food in our fridge, that our children are provided for, that things are taken care of. Okay? That is security mindset. So women will go after a man that, and I'm going completely heterosexual here. I mean, you can, if you're not heterosexual, just whoever has the strong masculine energy and whoever has the strong feminine energy, okay? Same story, just whatever. I don't care what's between your legs, okay? But for the sake of this talk, I'm going to keep this completely heterosexual, okay? So the woman typically will go towards a man that can fulfill her security. A man, even though he is wanting connection and wanting all of this stuff, will after a bit seek freedom again. So he will be able to provide security, but then he's going to want his freedom. How does he go about getting that freedom? Well, that's up to each individual and themselves. The biggest trick in that relationship is to kind of have that balance where the feminine energy feels the security and the masculine energy feels the freedom, whatever that might look like. That does not always pertain to sex. That can just be let your guy go have guy time, as I refer to it as asshole time, okay? Let your guy go have that asshole time. Let him go be with the guys. Let him go play golf, go on guys trips. Have that game nights, poker nights, whatever that is, where it's not overly controlled. Because what ends up happening in relationship where that variety gets killed in multiple ways is that we are trying to dominate and control our partner. Both sides do it. Both sides come at each other with, I'm going to control you. Now, it doesn't always really come from here as though I want to control the other person, but anytime we are trying to make the other person fit into a mold so that we feel safe, that we feel loved, we feel happy, we feel this, we feel that, that is us putting everything into that other person and trying to get them to fulfill our needs, our desires, to be what we want them to be, instead of just accepting them unconditional in love for who they rightfully are. Okay, so that it comes out in multiple ways. Here's the thing about variety. Variety teaches us about what we want and what we don't want. Back in that time frame when I was dating 11 men, I had 11 boyfriends at one time for about 18 months straight. It was quite a time in my life. It was what was it? It was about 10 years ago now. 9-10 years ago, and I had 11 boyfriends, and it was amazing. It was really amazing because I had come out of this 20-year relationship, this monogamous relationship with one man. Up until that point, I had slept with 3 guys. I had my high school boyfriend, I had my husband, and I had one other lover that I had slept with. So my sexual history up until about the age 31 was really just those 3 guys. And here's the thing. I didn't really even know what I liked in bed. I didn't know what I liked in a man. I didn't know what I liked in a partner. I didn't know what I wanted in life, what I wanted in anything, because I didn't know who I was in such a deep, intimate way. So I couldn't even vocalize what I wanted or even pull into my life what I wanted because I didn't have a clue as to what I wanted. Somewhere inside of me, my soul said, no, girl, we're going to go figure this shit out. We're going to go and we're going to explore the masculine. And what I ended up with was 11 boyfriends. I ended up with these 11 boyfriends, and what these men taught me was a beautiful awakening process to self. Each man brought an aspect of me to the table. I got to fall in love with myself over and over again. And it was a beautiful process. Along the way, I also got to meet different masculine energies. I got to explore different sexing. I got to explore different dating. I got to explore all these different thinking, theology, all this different stuff. I got to really get in there and explore it. And I got to explore it at so many different levels. And this variety allowed me to go, hey, I really like this, but I really don't like this. I really like this over here. Man, that is amazing. but I really don't like that. And I got to learn about that in all these different aspects of my life. If I had just dedicated myself to just the first guy that I started dating, who happens to still be in my life today, is a dear, dear friend of mine, and I've learned so much from. I adore this man with my whole heart and soul and thank him so much for the awakening that he started. He activated it. He activated. I really do count my blessings every single time we have a drink or dinner or see each other, because it was a start right there. But what he activated was this ability for me to start to meet myself. I met myself over and over again, right? And in that, I can tell you that what ended up happening was that from that process, I got to really get to know myself. I got to know what I really wanted and what I didn't like, right? So if I had just dedicated myself to him, what would I have really truly learned? Not much more than what I had learned in the 20 years before, okay? Because the 20 years before of relationship, I had not really truly learned myself, because I put myself completely into one basket with each one of those men, okay? So I completely just went in 100%, and I did it prematurely. I did it because I wanted security. I did it because I didn't know who I was. I did it because I thought, well, he's got something that I really like. Like, this is cool. He's promising. He's got potential. Never, ever, ever buy into the potential of what somebody might become or might have. Buy into the person of today. If you can't get on board with the person of today, then you're never going to be able to get on board with the person of tomorrow, because that tomorrow is just going to be a new version of that person today. Yes, they more than likely will grow and change and evolve. But you have to be able to love them right where they're at, because the core nature of each of us is always going to remain with us. So if you can't be 100% with what their core is today, it's not going to be different in 10 years. It's not going to be different in 15 or 20. Certain things can change. They can change their diets. They can change their physical presence. They can change their financial presence. They can change what they do. They can change certain likes or dislikes. But that true person, if there is something that is not jiving with you, don't think that you can change it. And I really speak to the ladies on this, because we're really great at buying a guy for what we think he can become, instead of buying the guy that he is today. Okay? So back to my 11 guys, back to guy number 1, who's still a dear friend today. When he came into my life, if I had thrown all my eggs into one basket, you could say, what would have happened? I would have basically become what? This serial monogamous that is so popular in our world. We are serial monogamous, right? We bounce from relationship to relationship to relationship. We spend anywhere from a year to 5 years typically in a relationship before it blows up on us, and we're wholehearted, committed, and all this stuff. And what are we doing? Are we really truly working through our stuff? Or are we so fearful as we enter into this new relationship? Do we pull all of our past relationship with us into it? And then we start to what? We start to look for, and what ends up happening? We start to find exactly what we're the most fearful of showing up in the relationship that we're in. And we're like, why do I always attract this kind of person? Why is this always happening? Number 1, you're doing it to yourself because you're focusing on what you're fearful of. You're focusing on what you don't want. You don't want it to show up, so you're trying to manipulate it. You're trying to control it. You're trying to make sure that it doesn't happen in every physical, emotional, mental way that you possibly can. So you're really, really pushing, instead of just letting this other person be who they are. Right there. Accept them for who they are. Really, truly get in there and allow yourself to just experience that person. If you can't love them for who they are right now in this moment, you're never going to love them. Never, ever, ever. And true love is all about unconditional love. It's not about trying to change somebody. It's not trying to get them to be something or be your everything, or you be their everything. Allow them to show up how they're showing up. You show up how you show up, and see if you meet. See if you mesh well. See if you can connect well. And at the same time, never put all your eggs into one basket until you are truly sold out. Truly, truly sold out. I have this statement that I learned in Kabbalah class years ago, back at the same time that I was dating 11 guys. I was very active studying Kabbalah for about 4 years. early on in my journey in my 30s, I was studying mystical Kabbalah through the Kabbalah Center. And it's all about, the technology of the soul. And one of the things that Karen Berg, Yehuda Berg's wife, I listened to a talk that she did, or maybe I read it in one of her books or something. But this is 10 years ago. I don't know. I've read a lot, so who knows where it actually came from. But I do know that it was from Kabbalah class. And the statement was to hire slow and fire fast. And to really, that hire slow is the key component. Spiritually speaking, we really should take our time in the hiring process. And I can tell you that over and over again, my personal experience and the experience that I see through my clients, through my friends, even through my children, that have grown, the people that have the happiest, best relationships are the most in love and have the most success in their relationship, have taken the time to hire slow. But here's the thing. One person's version of slow compared to another person's version of slow typically is way off base, okay? Slow does not mean to hire somebody in the next 90 days. You don't hire them in the next 90 days. You don't hire them in the next 6 months. That new relationship energy, as it's called, it takes 18 months to 3 years to wear off. And guess what happens? As long as you're in that new relationship energy, you're not really truly meeting that person yet. They haven't really settled into their skin yet with you. They haven't really let themselves be seen, be felt, be experienced, and vice versa for you. So the shit starts to hit the fan. And if you think about any relationships, 18 months to 3 years, what starts happening? All of a sudden you start seeing the little problems. All of a sudden the socks on the floor start getting to you. All of a sudden the way they say that one word, the fact that they do one thing or another, they don't, all those little things start to pick at you after the 18 months to 3 year time frame, right? And then from there, it's really how much do you tolerate? How big of a deal is it? How much does it really truly impact you or not? How do you actually work through some of those things? Or are they actually red flags waving in your face saying, no, don't go this way. Don't go this way. How it is going on inside yourself. So there's lots of different things, and I could do 1,000,001 talks on this particular subject because it is such a vast subject. But I can tell you that anytime you put your eggs into one basket for that first 18-month to 3 year time frame, that you're probably going to, 80% of the time, find out that you've what could be termed as wasted your time. Now, I don't believe in wasting your time. I believe that every single person that comes into our life for a beautiful purpose, a beautiful reason, that it is something that is given and cherished on both sides at a soul level, that there is a genuine receiving and giving going back and forth, and that that each person is kind of like a stepping stone on our spiritual path. We connect with people for multiple reasons. A lot of it is to help us heal, to help us expand, to help us remember who we really are. If you can walk into a relationship looking at the relationship like that, then there is never such a thing as a waste of time. It is always a growth experience. It is always a love experience. It is always beautiful and connective, and you get what you need to get out of it, and you pray that the other person is aware enough to get what they need to get out of the relationship as well. But then when that time is over, the time is over. And you can't go, oh, I wasted my time for the last 3 years with this, and I could have been out there dating. I could have been doing this. I could have been doing that. Now, that doesn't mean that you necessarily need to go out and date during that 3 year time frame. You need to kind of get into that committed. Now, on the front side, I would actually encourage for like the first 6 months, keep a dating flow going. Like, don't put all your eggs into that basket right on the front side. You're going to know the time when you want to get more exclusive, but don't feel bad about also having those relationships with other people. And depending back to the original topic that I brought up, whether you are open or whether you are monogamous mindset, that is going to vary what those other relationships look like. But there's nothing wrong with having, if you're a woman, having male friends, if you're a guy, having female friends. Just know what is in store. Get into alignment on the front side of, hey, are you monogamous mindset, or are you an open relationship mindset? Like, where are we at here? And start having those conversations on the front side, and then start playing with it. And you're going to find your your sweet spot within that relationship as you're learning and you're growing together. And then you just kind of experience and you grow and you experience and you grow and you experience and you grow. And either it works out or it doesn't. I can tell you also, for all of you people out there who think that monogamy is the only way to go and that open relationships is nothing but a can of worms that you don't want to open because, oh my gosh, it's Pandora's box. Yes and no. Yes and no. There's a whole little gamut on there. And again, a whole nother thing that I could do a whole nother talk on of people saying, oh, you know, open relationships don't last. Monogamous relationships do. All right. They both have about the same success ratio, okay? And if you actually get down to it, the open relationships have a little bit higher success ratio in today's world than what monogamous relationships do. And here's the thing, the open relationships have less cheating happening in them than what monogamous relationships do. So people are still having sex with other people. It's just whether you're in integrity about it or not. That's the whole big thing there. So just realize that. So there, again, there is no right or wrong. It's all about the integrity. It's all about the conversation, the communication, and being in alignment to somebody or not being in alignment to somebody. And if you're not, then you're not. And if you are, then yay, you are. And then take it from that step right there, move forward, learn, experience, expand, and just see what that variety within the relationship can bring you. Because what it really truly is about is that the more both people can feel free and secure and can experience different aspects of somebody, the more you can really step into that relationship, then the more variety you're going to start to experience from that one person. And here's the thing, if you're in a monogamous relationship, you can experience tons of variety within that. If you allow that container to be expansion based, which means that you're not going to be super critical of if your guy goes out and talks to, his female friend, or if he has a work wife, okay? And vice versa, gentlemen, back at the ladies there. You're not going to get upset if she goes and has a drink with a friend, or, I see this all the time. I should have a couple couples who are going through these challenges right now where the parties will just have opposite sex friends, and the person at home is going, oh, I think you're doing this, I think you're doing that. And anytime you start to really put up that fear, realize this, that what you focus on grows, okay? Energy goes where your attention is. So if you're really scared of something, then you're probably going to draw it in. You're probably going to draw that right into your life at some point, okay? It's almost inevitable that if you're really focused on your partner cheating on you and your partner hasn't cheated on you yet, well, guess what? If you keep saying that your partner's cheating on you, feeling like your partner's cheating on you, condemning your partner before your partner's done it, chances are at some point, it's just going to happen. And it's like you've put your focus in that and you're creating the growth to happen. Okay, so take your focus off of it, focus on something else, start experiencing where your partner's showing up in your life, the things that you love about your partner, the things that you're really connected with, the things that are beautiful in that relationship, and really focus in on that. Take your fear focus away, focus on the love, focus on the good, focus on the play, focus on the joy, the bliss, those things that bring you joy and happiness. And when you feel that fear, realize that that's that ego that's stepping in and going, oh my gosh, and feeling like what? You need to control the other person so that they will give you exactly what you need so that you feel what? Safe, you feel free, you feel content, you feel happy, you feel joyous, you feel connected, you feel loved, you feel worthy, blah, 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 blah. There's a humongous pile over there of stuff that we want other people to provide for us. But in doing that, what we're actually doing is handing all of our power over to them and not taking responsibility for our own feelings. And just really settling into who we are, what we want, what we need, and what we desire. So look at the variety that you've had in your life. Look at the things that you've learned. Focus in on the things that you want and realize that what you're really wanting is to have that creation right there and to really, really tap into who you are and achieving those desires. But that's only going to happen from knowing what you want and what you don't want. So gist of everything is don't settle. Just don't settle. Don't settle on the friend side. Hire slow, fire quick, Realize that it's going to take you 18 months to 3 years in a relationship to really start to get to see a person and to know a person. If you're buying in before that, then you're probably going to have some issues. If you're not buying in before that, then you're actually probably more successful in that relationship. You're going to really get to know that person. Look for those control mechanisms that you have where you're wanting to control, dominate, and get that person to be something that they're not, and back the fuck away. Just back the fuck away on those things. Let the other person show up how they need to show up, and you show up how you need to show up. Allow for variety to show up in your life in multiple ways. You wouldn't want to eat the same food every single day. Well, you're not going to want to associate with the exact same people every single day, or associate with the person in your life that you might be dating in the exact same way every single day, okay? So allow for things to be changed up. Allow for growth to happen. Go to different things, experience different things, have different conversations, really truly explore so many different things about each relationship, especially that intimate one, especially that one that you really, really want to focus in on that makes you feel oh so good. Well, then keep it feeling oh so good. Allow for that variety to happen there, whether that, no matter what that looks like in your sexing department, because ultimately at the end of the day, this talk's not about sex, guys. It's not about sex. That is a variety thing. But the true variety comes from right here and from right here and from experiencing the world. And ask yourself, are the beliefs that you have, are the things that you think that make a successful relationship, that really make things really turned on for you, a really good relationship, are they coming from you in here at your core, or are they coming from the world around you? Were they taught to you by your parents, by your church, by your school, by media, by your friends? By a book that you read? Or is it something that you really truly feel hardcore about in your soul? Ask yourself that stuff. Okay, guys? Okay, my daughter is calling me and she's got my little munchkin, so I need to call her back to make sure that nothing serious has happened. And I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee on some other topic. I hope that this was helpful to some of you. If this was helpful, please hit the little share button. Thank you, everybody who was on here. Thank you for all the loves and the likes that I came on too. I didn't get an opportunity to say hello to everybody, but hello and goodbye. You can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. And as always, stop existing, start living, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.